Hey guys, another day of getting some fish in. It's always great when they come in first thing in the morning. Almost never happens. These came in on time, surprisingly. The post office has always delayed things for the last year and a half. All right, so these look really well packed, so let me take a second here to cut these open. All right, got them unwrapped here. They were wrapped really well. So these fish came from Robbie, so thank you very much, Robbie, for sending these out. We've got some little heat packs here. I don't know how long they lasted. These guys are pretty cold, but luckily they're all Medaka Ricefish, so they can tolerate the cold. So I'm back to getting some cool strains in. I got 3 strains. This first one, can't really see them really well in the bag, but they're all doing okay. These are the tricolor limays. And this strain here, we've got some red and white limays. Hopefully I could get some good B-roll with these guys while I'm doing this. These were a really cool one. These are the blue stars. Yeah, so I'm really excited that these guys all came in okay. I'm going to get them in their tanks. We'll get a better look at them. I'm actually floating the bags, something I haven't done. You guys know I don't really do that. The temperature difference is pretty significant. I would say at least 10 degrees difference. The fish room right now, we're having an unusually warm September. So the fish room in September right now is sitting at 81, 82 degrees, which makes the water pretty warm. So I have these guys on a lower rack. I'm going to keep the tops open. I might remove the tops, like on this tank, altogether to keep it cooler. Might put like a little fan on this whole row because this is my Medaka Ricefish row. You can see the orange ones that I got last week, doing well. So I'm going to try to keep these guys cool. I know they don't like to be too warm. I know that in the summer people's ponds get warm, but I don't want to keep them warm for too long. So definitely just wanted to adjust and floating them so that the temperature is different so I don't just like shock them. All right, I just got the fish in the tanks. You can see that I had to do a little bit of a water change. That's why they're pretty cloudy. Right before they went in, I did that to bring the temperature down in the aquariums because temperature was about 79, 80. So I didn't want to bring them up that high right out of the gate after shipping. So I put some cooler water in while they were floating, let them float for a little bit longer. But these guys are pretty active already. These blue stars are already, I could tell, going to be my favorites. They look really, really cool. But I just wanted to show briefly kind of why I do the Med Trio, which I'm about to put in. Some of these guys didn't do as well in shipping compared to some of the other ones, and that's nobody's fault. Shipping is very stressful for fish, so kind of see I wish it would focus better, but you can kind of see how this one's here's fins are kind of clamped, and some of them are like that in each bag. That comes from the stress of shipping, and I just like to pre-treat any issues, and I find that it's really helpful with the acclimation process when fish are shipped to medicate them and kind of take care of everything, because that might turn into something. It could be nothing. Most fish will just bounce back when they're in good water in a tank after shipping, but these guys are pretty rare, not taking any chances, so I'm going to put the Med Trio in. Alright, so I know I said we would check in a couple days. It's actually been a couple weeks. Life kind of happened and time got away from me, and I kind of forgot to touch base with these guys. You can see how much the Salvinia has grown compared to the other videos. But so far so good. I think it's actually better to see fish doing well weeks later rather than a couple days later. So they're all doing really well. These ones are definitely my favorite, the blue stars. They're really meant to be viewed from the top-down view. Looking really good there. So a huge thank you to Robbie If you guys want to get some different types of Medaka ricefish yourself, I recommend you reach out to him on his Instagram, or you can actually contact him through this great Facebook page. The Facebook page is Japanese Ricefish of North America. So it's a really fun Facebook group with a lot of people in there who just like ricefish. People have all different types of strains in there. They've got eggs for sale. People are trading tips. They've got fish for sale. Everyone's got really, really cool things going on in that group. So really cool group to be a part of. And I'm just going to share some of the tips that Robbie was nice enough to pass along to me. Just because I think that one of the problems with the Medaka ricefish in the US is that there's just not a lot of information readily available for everybody. So there's stuff online, but really true experience speaks more than what you read online. So one thing I learned and probably figured out why I lost all of my strains of Medaka ricefish is actually due to possibly because of age. So I opened the store in January and kind of just left the fish room on autopilot for almost a year now. And talking with Robbie, he shared that his Medaka ricefish he's probably getting a good year, maybe a little over a year out of him, which is not a long time for a fish. I was surprised to hear that, and he was saying that it's better for the ricefish to kind of go through a season where if you have them in a heated tank, they're going to live less than a year. So that kind of makes sense for the problems I was having where they all kind of were just dropping off, and I didn't know why. I thought it was the temperature, but my white clouds were actually warmer and they're more sensitive to temperature, and they were fine. So that could definitely be a problem. He actually gets new breeding stock every spawn that he does. So he's constantly working with young fish, new fish, and he actually breeds them in pairs, which I thought was interesting, to line breed and get these spectacular colors and this quality. When you're colony breeding, you're more likely to get, just like a mix of things, and you're going to have more culls than if you were spawning two fish together to get two genetics instead of a whole group like this. So I thought I'd share that information because I thought it was super interesting. It's something I'm going to try to fix with these guys in the future. These guys are all young fish, so they've settled in for a couple weeks. I'm actually, right after this video, going to set up a bunch of different breeding tanks with spawning mops, and I'm going to make sure that if I do get fry, that I am keeping a significant number of the fry to grow out to breed and constantly work with fresh stock, and hopefully we won't have an issue where I lose all of them. Alright, so hopefully this is the beginning of getting back into the Medaka ricefish. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.